That space mission this morning, that's end time shit. This is beyond parody. Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet. Look at the state of the world and think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? For what was the marketing there? And then to try to make it like, I'm disgusted, literally, I'm disgusted.
Forget the Coachella content for a sec. We need to talk about this wild space mission that's blowing up online right now. While astronauts and big names are all hyping it up like it's some empowering, history-making move for women, the internet isn't buying it. People are raising eyebrows and asking, wait, this feels off, and honestly, they're not wrong. Let's break down why this space mission has everyone talking, and not in the wow, go science kind of way. Instead of cheers and confetti, people are straight up uncomfortable. The whole energy around this is weird. Normally, something like this would be all about unity, progress, and girl power, right? But this time, the vibes are off. Real office folks are saying this isn't the empowering moment it's being sold as. It's giving forced, awkward, and even tone deaf. So here's the deal. A huge space flight just went down, and instead of excitement, the internet is in full meltdown mode. TikTok's dragging it, memes are everywhere, and celebs are low-key shading it with that, did they really just do that? Look, the mission's official name, Blue Origin New Shepard Flight. Yep, that's the same Blue Origin founded by Jeff Bezos way back in 2000. Now the rocket itself, New Shepard, is built for short trips just to the edge of space. Basically a cosmic joyride where passengers get a few minutes of floating before dropping back down to Earth. And guess what? This all went down on April 14th, 2025. But instead of celebration, people are calling it awkward, performative, and even out of touch with what really matters. This mission? Fully autonomous, no pilot, no commander, just 6 women on board repping hard: Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, Gayle King, Aisha Bowe, Amanda Wynn, and Carrie Ann Flynn. It was just them and the stars, but for real, the whole thing only lasted about 11 minutes. Yup, less time than a lunch break. And here's the kicker. A seat on this flight reportedly cost anywhere from $150,000 to $500,000. Wild, right? Now, it's unclear if the ladies paid out of pocket or if it was all comped for the cameras, especially since this was clearly a PR-heavy mission, loaded with symbolism. It was hyped as the first ever all-female crew, and they made sure it looked picture perfect. Katy Perry even sang "What a Wonderful World" and brought a daisy to honor her daughter. Oh, and while she was floating in zero gravity, she casually announced her upcoming tour's set list, because why not make it a promo moment too? The whole thing was treated like a red carpet event from space. Oprah, Khloe Kardashian, and Kris Jenner were all down on Earth watching it go down. But here's where it gets messy. People saw through the glam. It didn't feel like a mission for research or science. It felt more like space tourism dressed up in empowerment talk. A flashy flex for the ultra-rich that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Online reactions went crazy. Folks were pointing out how ridiculous it is to watch million-dollar joyrides while regular people are out here struggling, losing healthcare, drowning in rent, watching school programs get slashed. It's hard to cheer for girl power in orbit when things are crumbling on the ground. So even though the mission was framed as this powerful, symbolic win for women, the internet wasn't convinced. People kept saying, something about this just doesn't feel right. And then Emily Ratajkowski stepped in and lit up TikTok with her reaction. She didn't hold back, sharing her full take and instantly going viral. So that was space, huh? People did not hold back. The internet came for this mission hard, saying it tried to package itself as a girl power moment. But in reality, everyone on that flight literally bought their seat. Folks were like, wait, how is this a win for feminism when it's just a bunch of super wealthy women paying to float for 11 minutes? It felt more like a glamorized flex than anything empowering. A lot of people were straight up embarrassed. The biggest thing that rubbed people wrong, the amount of money poured into this trip could have done real good. We're talking help for single moms, housing support, better healthcare, school meals, the list goes on. Instead, it went to a quick bougie ride in a rocket. And let's be honest, the the spotlight being all over Katy Perry and Sanchez, it didn't sit right with folks. People pointed out there are actual female astronauts who train for years and might never even get close to space. One person said they were dying at how Katy Perry probably thinks this was the ultimate feminist move. Like hopping on that spaceship made her a hero for all women. But nah, the internet was not buying it. They were like, this ain't it. Emily Ratajkowski wasn't done either. She came back the next day with more takes, doubling down on her criticism.
Okay, I'm back. I have more to say. I think that this space mission is confusing to people because seeing women and people of color in spaces like science and politics that have not previously included them feels and really looks like, optically, looks like progress. But the truth is that having a man who has gained his power and become a part of the 1% purely through exploitation and greed, deciding to take his fiance and a few other famous women to space for space tourism is not progress. That's why this all is giving like Hunger Games, right? And I'm making another video is because I think we're in a place in the world where we need to be able to discern what real progress looks like. And what happened yesterday was nothing like that.
She wasn't alone. People were saying, keep space travel scientific. The whole thing felt like a flashy, billionaire-run marketing stunt, not progress. One tweet that went viral summed it up. Space tourism is peak dystopia. The same billionaires wrecking Earth are the ones playing space games now. Another user hit it even harder. How is this supposed to empower women when real women are getting fired from NASA?
I'm sorry. I have to be honest. This whole and they went to space, Gayle, Katy Perry, and Jeff Bezos, bitch, when going to space. I don't know who else went to space. So I think it was another lady up in there with them. First of all, the fact that it was only for 5 minutes, for the length of a Beyonce song, that pissed me smooth off. If you was gonna send them people into space, you need to send them into space how you had sent that lady who went up there and now she done aged 50 years. I want to see him in space for a little second, because I know you spent a whole bunch of money sending these people to space. This is stupid. I gotta be honest. When people go above the earth and below the earth, you want to see the Titanic for why? You want to go on the moon for why? Not right now. Not right now.
The message was loud and clear. People saw through the glitter and they weren't clapping. Tons of people jumped on TikTok, YouTube, and every other platform to drag this mission. And honestly, the comments were all hitting the same note. No one was buying the historic moment spin. It felt forced, out of touch, and way too expensive for what it actually was. And people weren't just annoyed, they were mad. Some of the top comments were brutal. One person said, "The gag is the rich are the actual problem. They're polluting the skies just to go on some expensive space roller coaster." And let's not forget, this all happened not long after real astronauts were reportedly stuck in space. So while this flashy 11-minute cruise was going down, the irony was impossible to ignore. Yeah, it might have made history on paper, but for most folks watching, it just felt wrong. Like we were being told to celebrate something that didn't really help anyone. Instead of being inspired, people started asking big questions, like why this even needed to happen in the first place. Then the convo took a wild turn into deeper territory. People started speculating, is this space tourism push actually a secret plan B? Like, are billionaires testing ways to dip out if Earth becomes unlivable? And more importantly, who's gonna get left behind? Because let's be real, regular people won't be able to afford tickets to another planet. And here's what makes it even wilder. These aren't just conspiracy theorists or people who usually bash science. It's regular, thoughtful folks asking, why is this where the money's going? This mission didn't spark hope, it sparked doubt. And now everyone's looking at the skies and wondering what's really going on. The internet is lit up right now with people going back and forth about this whole space stunt. Like seriously, it was everywhere yesterday. You couldn't scroll without seeing something about it. And what's wild is the backlash isn't just coming from anti-science folks. A lot of people actually support space exploration. They just have legit questions like, why this? Why now? Why in this way? What really got people talking was the moment Gayle King stepped off that ship and straight up kissed the ground. The crew came out looking like they just survived the wildest ride of their lives. Shaky, emotional, almost like they were coming back from war. And yeah, space is dangerous, no doubt about that. It's risky, unpredictable, and honestly terrifying. But still, nobody forced them to go. That's why it struck people as a little dramatic. Because while the crew was treating it like they just completed this heroic, life-risking mission, folks online were like, but wasn't this just a luxury trip? They weren't out there doing deep space research or saving satellites. It was a high-profile 11-minute experience. So people felt like the reactions didn't match the reality. It was like watching folks treat a thrill ride like a life-or-death mission. And sure, the danger's real, but the intent behind it, that's where the confusion and criticism kicked in. The whole thing was being framed like this epic, brave moment. But it left people asking, was it really bravery or just performance? They blasted off into space, and yeah, it was wild. For sure, going to space is no joke. It's risky, it's intense, and hearing about it had me on edge too. But at the end of the day, let's be real. It was their choice. No one made them go. Thankfully, everyone made it back safe and sound, but that doesn't erase the weird vibe around the whole thing. Now I want to hear from you. What's your take on this space mission? Do you think it was inspiring? Or are you also feeling like something just ain't adding up? Was it a powerful moment or just a flashy distraction for the elite? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. And if you've been loving the tea, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You already know we've got way more drama to unpack in the next one. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.